Geez, people, the stream did go down. I'm not quite sure what happened there. YouTube, I think, is bugging out with a lot of stuff happening this weekend. But we are back. And so welcome back to the stream. Please smash like, by the way, because we were kind of all been set back to 0. So I'm going to need you all to smash like on the video, subscribe as well. Let's keep getting this going. Let's try and catch back up to the numbers that we were at. And yeah, we've got about 9 minutes to go to kick off. So I'm about to take you through the Irish team. I'm going to show you the Irish team. And we'll talk a little bit about them as well, because they've gone pretty full strength, to be honest, and I think it's a bit rude for Romania to have to try and deal with this. I'm also trying to decide if I look good in a Romanian shirt. Could I be pulling off yellow? What do you reckon? Can I pull off yellow? Let me know in the comments. But in case you missed it, this is how the Ireland team is looking ahead of the game. And they've just gone down in the tunnel. They'll be back out in a few minutes, and it's a pretty strong Irish side, and that is probably doesn't get much stronger, to be honest, if you look at the full 23. But yeah, let me not tell you about it. Let me show you. Right, so as you can see, a pretty strong Irish side, which has been named today. And as I said, you got to feel sorry for the Romanians who have to try and take them on. But in terms of some quick-fire stats, these are some of those stats brought to you by Opta. And Ireland have won each of their previous 9 test matches against Romania, with those victories coming by an average margin of 32 points. So if this is less than 32 points, then basically that means that that Romania have actually given a reasonable showing of themselves. Yeah, Ireland scored 4 tries or more in 8 of those 9 fixtures, with the only exception being a 25-3 victory in 1993, which they scored just 1 try, but still scored 25 points. Ireland and Romania will meet at the Rugby World Cup for the 4th time. Ireland will be the first nation Romania have faced more than 3 times at the tournament, although they will also face Scotland the 4th time later in the pool stages, whilst Ireland have only faced Australia more often at the World Cup, which is 5 times. And if you look at some of the head-to-head at the World Cup, Ireland have won all of them. And if we look at Romania, their recent results, they've... as you look at their recent results, they've lost to Italy, lost to Georgia, lost to USA, and they lost 3 games. They did beat Spain, however, before losing to Georgia, and Portugal before that. They beat Belgium and Poland earlier this year. So haven't beaten any big teams, really, which suggests that they're going to be particularly competitive today. So... yeah, don't harbor too many expectations for Romania, but let's see what they can do. Stevie P says, I haven't picked any Irish in my fantasy squad. I now feel like a fool. I should have stacked them since they're playing Romania, but also the Irish players are way too expensive. Yeah, so we're playing the Tupu one, which doesn't have a price, unfortunately. It's been annoying, actually, because I think that would have made life a lot easier, but unfortunately, we couldn't really do the official one because we couldn't contact people for the winners and stuff. Matt Dixon saying Scotland and Irish game could decide the winner of the World Cup. You say both Wales and Portugal are playing in their second kits next week. Something to do with red-green colour blindness. Maybe one of the Portugal players, a strange one, different. Actually, the audience as opposed to the actual players. Savvy Kiwi says, I think Ireland went full strength because their build-up hasn't been that great. So they're still building into the last 2 games for them, which are the most important games. It was Ireland's call to go full strength. Yeah, no, I think that is definitely part of it. You know, they haven't played brilliantly in the last couple of weeks. And... And I think a lot of this is why we kind of need to go full strength. We kind of just get the ground running, make sure that we get through our processes and get close to our best, so that we're ready for the World Cup. They haven't had the best of run-ins. They've not been at a bad run-in, but they definitely haven't been as at the best. You know. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. We're seeing a lot of green jerseys out there in the crowd. You should expect quite a big away support. It's not particularly difficult to get to France from Ireland. It does look like a very full crowd, which is good to see. We've just had the anthems going over here. Kickoff will be in the next minute or 2. And I've got the Romanian anthem underway. And yeah, so I mean, what are we thinking? Eh? What would be a good result for Romania today? I personally think that anything less than 30 points would be a reasonable account of themselves, actually, which sounds very negative, but at the end of the day, we are talking about Romania, one of the lowest ranked sides in the competition, playing against the number 1 side in the competition, and they are number 1 for a reason, very, very good reason. This Irish side are formidable. I mean, if they won a single World Cup before, if they had been to a World Cup final before, for example, they would be the favourites in the tournament. The only reason they're not is because people are building this narrative that they've never gotten past the quarterfinals in the World Cup, which they haven't. But I do think that there is a certain amount of I do think we're reading probably a little bit too much into it. They're still a quality side, and they've won a lot. You know, they've won a Grand Slam this year. You know, so yes, they've not won a World Cup, but they've won a Grand Slam. You know, they're not a side that you should be writing off simply because they haven't won a World Cup before. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, we heard that the anthems. It looks like I will be kicking off left to right. Peter O'Mahony getting a few last minute stuff on the medic. Big tournament ahead for him, playing some of his best rugby ever. Now Ireland have broken off into a bit of a warm-up over here. Do you mind, guys? We've got like things to do. But yeah, who are you looking forward to watching You know, from either team. Obviously, we've got the World Player of the Year, Josh van der Fleer, coming off the bench later on. A player that's worth watching for Romania, one of the players to watch out for. I always like watching the fly half, the halfback pairing, which is Gabriel Rapanu and Hinkley Vavasa. So those are the two Romanian players I like to sort of keep an eye on. But Taylor Gontiniak, who's coming off the bench later for Romania, has been labelled as a player to watch during the tournament for Romania. So keep an eye on him and see what he can produce a bit later. But anyway, we are minutes away from getting a kickoff underway. I'm looking at my fantasy. I want to see how my fantasy is doing here. Because I had Andrew Capuzio, who scored some points. I had Will Jordan, who was pretty yellow card, was dreadful. Or did I bench Will Jordan? Where are my points at? I've got James Lowe. No, I benched Will Jordan. What an absolute masterclass move that was. I captained Capuzio, who scored a try. I had Gregory Aldridge, who got man of the match. I had Renzo Canoni, who got man of the match and scored a try. Federico Razzo as well. So I think my fantasy is probably looking okay. Right, we're almost ready, people. We are almost ready. Some of the comments over here say Matthew says that the Romans lose by less than 45 points will be good enough for them. Swiki said, I've got Ireland by 43. Also, that's proper anthem by Romania. They might have the best one next to France. I did enjoy the Welsh one as well, to be fair. Sexton will be interesting. Yeah, I think that's one of the big things everybody will be watching is how is Johnny Sexton looking? How is he feeling? And what sort of form is he in inverted commas? He hasn't played in rugby for quite a while. And an important run out for him. He does have ball in hand. And we are finally underway. Johnny Sexton gets things underway. Goes down the right-hand side. It's not a brilliant kick, but it's kept pretty low. And an early clearance there from Romania. They do find touch. Not a terrible touch finder either. Up towards halfway the 10-meter line, but it'll be an early set piece here for Ireland. And I'm pretty sure, nice little start there for Hurvasa, the fly half. I'm pretty sure that Ireland will look to try and up the ante a little bit in terms of the pace of play. And it's been stolen. Hey, oh no, it's been given away, but it's been knocked on, surely. Something has happened. Nothing from the referee so far, but it's stolen from Romania, and they have come away with it. And it's the big man, Christian Chirika, who had ball in hand there. Now goes back to Vavasa. Keith Earl's almost running into Hugo Keenan. Hugo Keenan assessing his options. Decides to go to the boot, just chipping it over the top there. And Vavasa right up against the touchline. Has been very involved earlier. Has the Romanian fly half. And the return comes from Ireland. They're happy to do a bit of kick ping pong here. Goes back inside from Onuatu. Now a bit of space down that right-hand side. Looks to a point is Simonescu. Now James Lowe's got that big left boot of his. Will not find touch though. So just two teams waiting to see who will blink first. I mean, we've already had about 5 to 6 kicks from hand from either team so far. James Lowe, right. Was he going to look to find touch here? No, he's not going to look to find touch. But now, up and under. Has he been taken out? Not is the call. Hugo Keenan wants to take it himself. And we finally got a bit of contact after literally almost about 2 minutes worth of, what felt like 2 minutes kicking. Right, now I'm looking to run it. Gets away from Wonders Ringrose. Eventually brought down. Jamison Gibson Park. Quick ball. Little dab in behind for Keith Earls to run onto. Oh, that's brilliantly done by Vavasa. He's got space in front of him. Come on. Inside ball. And he's going to go over. That is brilliant. Gabriel Rapanu goes over. Look what it means to them. Against the world number ones in the 3rd minute of the match. A counter-attack try. And Romania lead the current Six Nations champions, the World Cup favourites. Ireland, not part of the plan there. A warning, I suppose. A warning, but how brilliantly done is that? Well. That is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. A good piece of skill. And then the finishing here just comes inside. The great report by me. Andrew Porter's desperately trying to keep up with him, but he's never going to, is he? And save this moment, Romania. They lead the current world number one by 5 points, set to be 7. And he will be taking the kicking duties here. Will be the try scorer, Gabriel Rapanu. 25-year-old Romanian scrum half. That is dreadful. That is... Why did he take it so far back? That's so... I mean, he's miles away, and then he sliced towards the right. I mean, just take it back 10 meters and just chip it over, mate. There's no need to make it that complicated. But how cool is that for a start? Right, deep restart. Back to Valvasa. This time he shows and goes. I'll tell you what, he's playing with a bit of confidence here. That's what I want to see. You know, at the end of the day, you know, the chance of them winning is next to nothing. But play your rugby. Play your rugby. So 24-year-old New Zealand Samoan Romanian fly half. A lot of different nationalities thrown in one there. Hinkley Valvasa. Here's the man in the 10 jersey. Started quite brightly as well so far. Nice young player. I'm sure he had many World Cups ahead of him. Now Hugo Keaton brought down. Good tackle on him. Now Tyke Furlong, his first carry. Now a bit of space. Sexton and Bundyaki straight through. Bundyaki gets the off foot away. And Jamison Gibson Park. Well, I'll tell you what, if you're number 9, you're scoring tries for fun. Jamison Gibson Park. And there it is. That, unfortunately, was always going to come. It would have been nice if they could have kept them out a little bit longer. But that is very, very good rugby. Really poor defense from Romania. And Jamison Gibson Park, the prolific number 9, also New Zealand born, goes over for his first try of the tournament. There's not much of a celebration, because I think they'll be annoyed at how badly they started. But this is the line speed over here. And bang, see, there's so much space there. Sexton just drawing it. The man giving it away to Bundyaki. Back to Gary Ringrose. Back inside to Jamison Gibson Park. Far, far, far too easy. Right, so Sexton take the lead. His first kick in a while, and he just strokes it over. He's a brilliant goal kicker. It's not particularly difficult. It should be 7-7, to be honest. So the fact that Iron lead is actually quite annoying, because I don't know what Rapinoe was doing by bringing that ball so far back and trying to make things a bit more complicated. Unnecessarily complicated for him, to be honest. There's no need to be that complicated about what to make things a bit more complicated than it. But anyway, right, 7 points to 5. The world number 1s are in front for the first time in this game and the first time in this tournament. So if they win, it means they would come back from behind, and you could phrase it, which would actually be true. Some people get very annoyed when you say it. You're like, oh, it's like they're barely behind. And you're like, well, were they behind? Is there a lie? There's no lie. Right, here we go. And looking to run themselves, but that's a pretty poor pass out to Keith Earls. Made his 100th appearance. Keith Earls recently got to that 100 mark. Wrapped up eventually by Nutu. That's a brilliant tackle, and Ian Henderson's caught on the ball. Goes back to James Lowe. Nice sort of energy there from Romania on defense. Couple of mistakes already from Ireland. Right, now he wants to run here. Vivas has kicked to himself. Just outside 22. It's perfect, and he's looked to try and get it back, but it's a good take there from James Lowe. James Lowe then goes to the boot. And that's out in the full, I think. That's out in the full. It is out in the full. That's a mistake. Yep, so it'll be Romania line out on the 22. A bit of a messy line has gone back to Ireland, but there was a knock on. So it is an Ireland ball. Right, first scrum of the day. Unfortunately, this is where you probably expect the Irish front row to really have a go at the Romanians. And a free kick to Romania for overextending there. So not gone quite to plan if I'm there tapping and going here. They have taken another scrum here, which I think is brave. But I suppose get the ball underneath the feet and get it right back to the end of the scrum and try and try and not keep this ball in as little as possible, because if it is to end, then they could be in trouble. Well, there he has. I mean, it's pretty solid though, and they're going to break off the back here as Chirika goes himself, and in fact it ends up at Panova Tangamani. Good ball there, not wide. That's a pretty big lad. And Florian Rossu, nice big carry from him. Good stuff from Romania. They're inside the 22. Backwards to the court. And Lucid has a bit of a run here. He's being held up though. Now it eventually goes down. More wasn't called though, so they do have to roll away to Ireland. Slow ball this year. Rapinu. Another big carry coming from Florian Rossu. But really poor breakdown work, and it's Keith Earls. I mean, Keith Earls cannot be winning breakdown penalties, people. I mean, come on. Come now. Right, Ireland up towards the halfway line. As he was fires towards the left. Long pass out wide. James Lowe's got a bit of space. And Tavita Manimano has to get across there. And he cuts back inside. Right, Johnny Sexton. Good hands. Mandi Aki. Good tackle on him there from the Ovidiu Kajalkaru. Andrew Porter now. Gibson Park. Sexton back inside. And the ball's been left behind by Rob Herring. But backwards is the call. Keith Earls looking to try and find half a gap. Gets the offload away to Peter Marnie. And Jay Ringrose is juggling it. Eventually gets away to Andrew Porter. Very scrappy game this so far. Andrew Porter still going. Now there's an overlap. Oh dear, it's a big overlap. Bundyaki. Inside the 22. Good tackle there. Important tackle there coming from Chirika. Now Sexton. Flat to Marnie. Going to Tyke Furlong. Tyke Furlong getting away from one. Sexton to James Lowe. Now all of a sudden, bit of space for Ty Byrne. First time we've seen him with ball in hand. Gibson Park going back towards the left. Sexton. Good hands. Deft hands. And that's so easy. Hugo Keenan over. The handling, what they've kind of become known for these days. The Irish handling has been so deft recently. And that is a proper try. Bundyaki, bang, show and go, comes back on the inside. That's early, but it's just the deft handling here which makes the difference. Sexton there, but Omani, bang, half a gap. And that is a lesson in your defensive line and about how it has to be very, very solid and very flat. You know, you had players up at different paces there, and as a result, there were gaps there that could be exploited, and that is exactly what just happened there. It was far too easy for Ireland in the end. Brooks says Romania by 12. Hughes saying, never mind fitness. Johnny Sexton will feel the heat after your last 50 minutes. He's 38, isn't he? This is getting on. I think he's in 40 actually in the next month or two. So he says that was too easy for Ireland. Irish are very rusty. We used to say, you guys covering the cricket, not today's cricket, and for good reason. For very good reason. Right, the restart for Romania. 14 points to 5 after 14 minutes. They've gone down the left. I'll tell you what, that's a brilliant kickoff. That is very, very well played. They've gone on target to Keenan right up against the touchline, and it's a really good chase coming from Tabita Manimua. And he's hammered him into touch and won Romania a line out. So that's really good. That's a fantastic kickoff. They've given themselves a line out on the 22. Question is, can they do anything with it? Well, they've they're looking for the rolling more here, the Romanians. Still going into the more. Still going. And the ball should be available for them as well. No, it has been turned over. I didn't see the Irish player on the floor. One of the more experienced players is Tavita Manamua. Tongan-born Romanian. Right, another scrum, yeah. That's actually, that last scrum was actually pretty solid from Romania. I kind of expected them to get hammered in the scrums here, to be honest. Typhoon and Andrew Porter are very good scrummers at the best of times, let alone when you're playing on a scrum like Romania's, who just doesn't quite have the same quality, I think is the polite word. And this is where you're going to see the Island power. He's on his floor, though, Typhoon. It's a very messy scrum. They do win the penalty. And I think that'll be the first of many so far this in the game. I think the penalties come on Andrew Porter's side. There's quite a few seats that are still available in the stadium. It's not completely full, not completely sold out from the looks of it. Games that should have been sold out this weekend. You expect last night to have been sold out. You expect Argentina versus England tonight. That should be sold out. And the Scotland versus South Africa game tomorrow should definitely be sold out. We've got Townsend watching on. Let's go Townsend. Andy Farrell. I'm thinking about Scotland for tomorrow. Good coach, Andy Farrell. And I'll tell you what, for me, has to be the next version Irish Lions coach. Bundyaki popping up to Ronnie Sexton. Decided to go James Lowe. Big wraparound now. James Lowe kicks towards Keane Earls. That's going to come back inside. He's hit the behind, but Hugo Keenan's picked it up. He's looking for a second try of the match. And once again, 5 minutes out, penalty advantage as well for holding it, not releasing. Back inside from Sexton to Mbani. He's hammered in the tackle. Gibson Park fires out to Sexton. Oh my goodness, there's so much space. The question is not who's going to who. And then it finally goes out towards Tyburn. And Tyburn finds himself on the corner. And over he goes. Easy as you like. Easy as you like. And what do we say? That they scored, Ireland has scored 4 tries or more in 8 of the last 9 games against Romania, while they've just scored their third and it hasn't even hit the 20th minute yet. So I think that they should get past that. I mean, James Lowe, he probably could have scored himself if he really wanted to, but why give yourself half a dart when you can give it off to Tyburn? You can go over easy as you like. And I mean, what a pleasure that they can leave Josh Vanderfleer on the bench, by the way. Start Tyburn is absolutely world class, and I personally think, you just shipped him to number 4 and you bring on Josh Vanderfleer in terms of your best 15 if you want to go with the best 15 versus a 23 of impact and subs and stuff. Right, Johnny Sexton. This one a bit more difficult on the left-hand side. About a meter infield. And that is looking pretty good. It's just going to go down the right-hand side. Not far away. I mean, it's difficult to judge because you are playing against Romania, but he doesn't look out of sorts here, as Sexton early on. It's a great pass here from James Lowe. Fires it out towards Tyburn. He goes, thank you very much. Easy as you like. Right, down the right-hand side now, right against the touchline. They're allowed to bounce, actually, to Ireland. It's bounced just inside. So, it's an interesting tactic Romania have done, is they keep going on the right-hand side, right up against the touchline. This time, for initially, Hugo Keenan tried to catch him, was bundled into touch. This time, they elected to let it bounce, and it did bounce into touch. So, it will be an Ireland line-out, but it's right at 22, so it's not the worst result for Romania. It is a defensive line-out. And that is a knock-on, I think, from Romania, who tried to compete. Was it not sure? I'm trying to work out what's going on here. Eugene Apjok, the head coach of Romania, watching on. They've also got a fan. Water breaks are in on play, by the way. So he came off a Irish player back into touch. So it'll be Romania line-up this time. And it's a bit of a mess now, but it's come away the way of Romanians. Just outside the 22. And Vivasa, the fly half, carried up. Not really his primary go-to, but he had to adapt. Now that's a big carry, but the ball's been ripped in the contact. But penalty for offside. So decision time here for Romania. Doesn't really make sense to go for the 3 points. It is kickable, very, very kickable. But although having said that, to be fair, after how we saw... after we saw the first kick, I'm not sure that what I consider kickable is very kickable when it comes to today's standards. But they are going to take the points here. For the comments of the Oscar say, how can I watch it live? I'm not on Ireland right now. Well, you have to find out wherever your local broadcaster is. Right, so he has nailed it as we go into a water break. And, yeah, look, I mean, for Romania, they're currently, leading by, they're trailing by 11 points. So, things could be worse, I suppose. I personally think they'll just be chuffed for the fact that they scored the first try. I think that'll probably be their biggest win of the day. The fact that they were leading at some stage. Should do a bit of a stat attack. Should we see what some of the stats are and see where this game so far is being won and lost? I mean, anyway, I don't think Romania have looked that in all sorts when they had ball in hand. But the defense looks very, very porous, to say the least. So yeah, we're 20 minutes in. We will be having water breaks throughout the weekend, by the way, in case you have missed that. Look at some of the stats so far. The territory has mostly been in the Irish, well, not the danger zone, but the quarter, 22 and the halfway. 51% territory for Romania, in fact. Possession, though, however, has been 58% for Ireland, 42% for Romania. But this is where it's been the difference. Ireland so far averaging 6.3 points per entry to 22. Romania 1.6. They both had 3 entries. So Ireland definitely making it count a bit more. Line-out percent so far. Ireland have lost 1 of 2. Romania have not yet to lose a line-out. And scrums are also 100% at this stage. 2 penalties conceded by Romania. Just the 1 from Ireland so far, which they did score some points to Romania. But worrying stat already for Romania is that they made 24 tackles, but already missed 9 at just a 73% success, also completion rate. So that will be a bit of a worrying stat because, yeah, you can't be going at 60-70% tackles completion rate against Ireland, or else you will be fetching points and fetching. What's it? The cricket to rebrand the cricket saying you'll be fetching leather. You'll be spending a lot of time under your own poles, watching them kick conversions and watching that scoreboard slowly creep up, and probably not even that slowly, to be honest. So some words here. I'm not quite sure why it's such a big water break here. As you can see, there's a Capgemini powered match momentum tracker that is on the screen there. All the momentum so far with the green of Ireland as they look to restart. So they will be restarting your ceilings after Romania did slot that 3-pointer. And they chip it ahead there. And it's been palmed down. And eventually, oh, it's a horrible pass. But and Vervassen now under a bit of pressure there. Penalty for not releasing. So Romania will have a clear exit here. So the big question is will we be getting to 40,000 subscribers today? We need another 108 people. And we'll be at 40,000 subscribers. So surely of the almost 200 people that are watching right now, surely not all of you guys are subscribed. Why are you lying to me? I know not all of you guys subscribe. So if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Let's try and see if we can get up to that 40,000 mark by the end of the day. Try and see if we can then push that further up tomorrow after the BOK game. It should be a huge BOK game. Very excited for it. We will be doing a watch-along. We'll be doing a fan zone over at Bottles and Barrels in Randburg, or Bryanston, I suppose. Barrels and Bottles in Bryanston. That's where we'll be tomorrow. Pick up and go, though, coming from Ian Henderson. That's Sexton. Go to Keith Earls. Keith Earls. Peter Marnie. Sexton. Good line being run there. Kellen Doris. We've seen very little of so far. Sexton inside ball, though, to Gary Ringrose. Ringrose almost up to 22. Back to Sexton. Hugo Keenan popping up to Peter Marnie. Now Gibson Park fires out towards Sexton. Sexton just happily on the shoulder goes Tyburn, almost through. Sexton looking at his options. Draw and pass. Bandiaki gets away to James Lowe. James Lowe right gets the touchline, gets away from one. James Lowe throws it back inside. It's gone forward from Keith Earls and gone out. How have they not scored that? And to be honest, and this is an interesting thing when it comes to these games, because I think that is sloppy. I think that is I'm playing a game against Romania. I'm sort of switched off a little bit there. I think that James Lowe combines with Keith Earls and scores that try 9 times out of 10 in a Six Nations game. It was a pretty half-hearted ball back inside, and Keith Earls never had much of a chance. But you got to be scoring that. I mean, if that's, for example, that's in a World Cup final, you can't afford to butcher something like that. Get a ring in my ear all of a sudden. Right, so there is a knock-on, so it'll be a scrum for Romania. They have not yet to lose the scrum, though they haven't seen penalties from the scrum. Glue the Wound says, hi there, just subscribed. Porter says, from what I've seen so far, we box and nothing to worry about with Irish Saf doing by 2 scores easy. Not sure I'll be going that far just yet. Safi Kiwi says, Sexton doesn't run much, does he just catch and pass? Yeah, look, I mean, even at his peak, I don't think he's never been these days. I think you've got to kind of adapt your game. Dan Carter did as well. You kind of got to adapt your game, don't you? You know, you got to kind of stay in your lane. And as you get a bit older, you start to realize you don't have the legs. And what you do, you got to have is that's a huge scrum, by the way, and that's a lot of pressure being put under Romania there. And I think Churika's done pretty well to be able to withdraw that. Now they're right up against the touchline, though. I mean, against their try line here are Romania. And Apenu's going to have to go to the box kick here, and he's kicked it back into one of his players, and I think that actually could be a 5-meter scrum here. Penalty, in fact, no, for Ireland for offside is the call, so that's a free exit. I'll tell you what, I was saying I'm not sure I could be able to pull off that yellow of Romania, their home kit. But I reckon I might be able to pull off. Oh, it's a shame. He's absolutely blasting to the head of his player. But offside was the cause. They will have a free exit. It's a very nicely worded line out actually for Romania. Gained a few yards as well. Now they go back to the pocket. Deep kick down the right-hand side there for Muamua to chase. James Lowe underneath it. I'll tell you what, it was almost a bit of a forward pass there. Hugo Keenan now, a little space here. Hugo Keenan's popped up, Tyburn. Tyburn's popped up to James Lowe. James Lowe, that's a horrible pass to Gemston Park, and it's gone forward. James Lowe has probably butchered 2 tries now. That's really, really poor. Really, really poor. I mean, you see, it's so slack from James Lowe. Sloppy. You said, no doubt many England supporters will be stuck at Dover or Charles de Gaulle Airport. Brexit, like Murray says, Dixon makes it look easy, but he's pulling the strings. Well, that's the thing, and I think that's what I was saying earlier, is that as you get older, you kind of understand where your strengths are and where your strengths aren't. And I think he knows these days that physically he's not where he used to be. He doesn't have the turn of pace he once had, but he can read a game like a book. And as I said, he does do the catch and pass, but just moves the island around. He's just the conductor. He kind of moves the island from one way to another way, directs proceedings. Gary Ringrose is absolutely world-class player. I think him and Robbie Henshaw are a fantastic centre combination. I'm a massive Ringrose fan. Now the kick ahead. Deep from Romania down to Hugo Keenan. Hugo Keenan looking to run quite a lot now. On the left-hand side. Getting away from one. It's almost a bit of a seatbelt tackle. It's a good tackle in the end coming there from Vlad Nicolou. Now Ty Furlong with a bit of space. Oh, an interception though. Very, very good work there, but very isolated. And Kuteshi penalty. Yeah, for holding on. Unfortunately, it was a great interception that came from Jason Tumana. But just didn't have any support around him. And Ireland, I must admit, they're the guilty of not playing at a particularly high pace or high intensity. I think that's intensity. I think is probably exactly what the word I'm looking for. Not a lot of execution at the moment from Ireland. It kind of looks like they're playing a bit of a warm game. I mean, Ty Furlong, lots of passes there, and he just throws it, and it's a good interception they come from Tumana, and then he's completely isolated. So I think it was Ty Furlong himself actually who made amends for that intercept pass by getting over the ball and winning the penalty. But room for improvement so far from Ireland, who I think have kind of sort of pitched up and expected to win, and they're so good that they will. But they certainly haven't been at their best so far. Keith Earls now going to Bundyaki, looking to wrap around Bundyaki. British and Irish line centre placing it, and that's gone straight to Rob Herring and forward. Now Romania. And there's nobody back, so deep kicking behind as Hugo Keenan goes back, and there's a big chase coming. Being led by Rapinu, the try scorer. And Hugo Keenan will just find touch. Good work there from Romania, but once again, it's inaccurate from Ireland. Pass straight into the chest of Rob Herring and forward it went. And all of a sudden, from having an attacking line out, they're back to the halfway line, and it's Romania ball. Change of boots here for the Romanian Lucid, Ilian Hartig. The long studs there, so I don't know if there's an issue with it. They don't look much better, to be honest. I'm not quite sure what the difference between these are. Shame, you got rid of the red ones. Now let's go back to the boring black. The good old A6 black ones. Can't go wrong with those ones. Those are the mileage as well. I have to tie his shoes on national television. Don't buckle, dude. Oh, a little double knot there. Love your work. I don't buckle again. See, I'm not sure. I'm looking at this yellow Romania shirt. It's completely yellow there. It's got a red sort of detail on this side, black detail on the other side. Not sure I could pull it off. I mean, what do we think? You reckon I could pull off yellow? I'm not convinced. I must admit, I'm not convinced I could pull off yellow. Another very good line out there from Romania. It doesn't manage to get down. I don't know, there's a penalty advantage there. Big carry there coming from I think it is, coming on the inside. No, it's Vasta, this fly half, who's decided to be like a sort of Andre Pollard-esque, happy to carry himself. Not too many options. So they go to the boot there, does Gabriel Rapinu, and James Lowe called on the mark. He had a foot outside touch. He's taken it quickly now and gone to the boot. That needs to bounce inside, which it has. Good work in the end. Very, very good work. Very good work. And Vavasa once again. I'll tell you what. And the inside ball. Remember the name, by the way. Vavasa. He's having an absolute storm of a game, the young fly. Just 24 years of age. Pretty sure he's playing in his first Rugby World Cup. And playing with a lot of confidence here. Right, Hugo Keenan. Looking for options. Looking down that right-hand side. He does go to that right-hand side. Oh, is that going to stay in? I tell you, it's an unfortunate bounce. I mean, it just stayed in, but going back to Vivasta, and he's gone back himself. He needs some support here. It does come eventually. Maybe a bit of fire there with Romania. Not too many other options, so they're not quite sure the right decision to keep it ball in hand, but they still have possession here. Good appreciation of laws there from Christian Cherico, who's worked pretty hard so far in the first half. He has the Romanian number 8. Ball's out. There's a Romanian player down. And Vivasa goes up to into the sun. Penalty. I think it's an island penalty offside. So it's all the way back towards 22 as Johnny Stacey gets onto his bicycle. He wants to take it quickly. He sees a bit of space. He does take it quickly. Oh my goodness. Inside ball left James Lowe. Ball pops up though. And it's gone to the side. A penalty. And this could be a yellow card. Is this? Yeah, it is a yellow card. Cynical is the call. I don't think you can have too many complaints about that, in all honesty. And that could spell a bit of a disaster for Romania. So Marius Simonescu, the fullback, goes to the bin for the next 10 minutes. So Ireland will play against a 40-man Romania for the final 10 minutes of the first half, which I don't see any particularly well. It was going to be a long day at the office anyway. Hugh James saying, I like the tactic the France outside half used last night, dinking into space away from any other player rather than distance, like Barry John did, 1971 British Lions Test in New Zealand. I'll take your word for it. It's about 20 years before I was born, more than that actually. And Porter said, the only way we lose this World Cup is referee bad decisions. South Africa only have France to worry about. Zealanders were a bit outclassed last night. Esther going for 4, baby, he reckons, right? Fair enough. Larry says, Stevie, sorry to change the topic, but do you know if the match day box jersey for 2,500 was a limited edition? I can't find any online or in stores. The normal World Cup jerseys are also flying off the shelves. It's not a limited edition, so it should be out there. I think it's probably just sold out. I don't think they managed to keep up with the demand. I mean, they did launch it pretty late. So it's not a limited edition or anything like that. It will be, in theory, it is just a normal stock shirt. I'd imagine it's just literally a stock issue. Right, we go to Bandiaki with the back of the scrum now, do Ireland. Bandiaki just short. Romania desperately trying to hold on here. This could be try number 4, though. Bonus point. Is it over? I think Vavasa might actually have held it up. We're going to have a look here, I think. Or has he called held up? I think he might have called held up. And it's my boy. My boy Vavasa. He's coming there. He's held it up. He said, no, Joe McCarthy, you will not be scoring a try today, mate. Just name him at every position. Name him at every position. Vavasa, once again, holding it up. He throws back inside. from the goal line dropout. Really good. Oh, dear. They missed his Kalen Joyce, but it's a big tackle on him eventually. Skip past Stephanie Anshu far too easily. Okay, Ringo's popping up to Bandiaki. Now there's a bit of space there. But he's going to go on the inside. He's going to go all the way. As Bandiaki is going to go all the way. And that's just... That's the one-man advantage at the end of the day. Vavas not covering with full back. And you've got Bandiaki as well as James Lowe trying to take on Stephanie Anshu and Manamura. You can't commit to one because he's got the other on the outside. And you can't really back Stephanie Anshu, the big lock, to be able to get back and have the pace to stay up. So bonus point try there for Ireland in the first half. And this is just the numbers issue. First of all, look, they need to spread a bit better because Ireland actually didn't have the numbers. But as soon as Bandiaki's got past Stefan Anshu, he's going to make it absolutely impossible for Tavita Manamura to try and... I'll look at the outside of the backdoor pass from Andrew Porter. Ringrose with the nice little dink there as well. And Bandiaki, pace and power. It's a big lad, eh, Bandiaki? Right, Johnny Sexton, who's having his 4th shot at goal. He's had 3 so far. He's missed just the 1. This is a little bit easier, but still not even 5 meters inside from touch. So getting a decent amount of practice out here, Johnny Sexton, with his goal kicking. One of the leading point scorers of all time in international rugby, and that is why. That is a brilliant kick from Johnny Sexton. Just swept that over the poles, easy as you like. Yeah, I don't know how Romania manages passage play. I mean, they're just gonna have to try and keep it tight and just try and... Problem is, they're kicking deep, and then I don't know how to exploit that extra man advantage. So I'm not quite sure what Romania are gonna do here. Apart from just panic. Once again down that right-hand side here, and this time goes back inside to Bandiaki, who created the try scorer. Back to Sexton. Sexton side wants to keep ball in hand here. Goes to McCarthy, who picks up and goes another go. This time driven back by his opposite number. And it goes back to James Lowe. Goes to that left boot. That's a great take by Vavasa here. It was literally caught as he was diving behind him. Goes to that left boot down the middle of the park. James Lowe. And he leaves the sector 22. Before then going to the boot. This time, and it's Tangamana. He goes back to Vavasa. It takes a while, and then goes to the boot. Gives some park inside to James Lowe. James Lowe fires across to Hugo Keenan. Keenan sees a bit of space, but has he overcooked it? He has overcooked it. He has overcooked it. That's a very rare error from Hugo Keenan. This is a great take, though, for Vavasa. Over his head. A great take from him. I'm not quite sure I did. I mean, positioning was a little bit off, but he managed to adjust brilliantly. Right, so Romania line out on the 10-meter line. They just need to keep ball in hand. There's 3 minutes left in the first half. Keep ball in hand. Don't receive any points. Go to halftime. Have some oranges. It's another good line out. The line's been pretty decent, but and then it's been stolen. That's dreadful. How's that even happened? It's a good take, and then a terrible... when it got down to the ground. Now there's a bit of space that Hugh Keenan puts it to the boot for Keith Earls to chase. Bit of a foot race here. Arnochi's going to win it. Oh, the bounce of the ball is actually given away to Keith Earls. And there's a man without a shirt, and there's, I think, a knock-on eventually from Keith Earls. But we've got somebody's lost their number here for Romania, which is really not going to help my cause. It's not like I know the Romanians by faces. It was absolutely stolen at the line-out. Right, have you getting any subscribers? Where you guys been at? What's happening with the subscribers here? Is my thing not working, or are you telling me that all 236 of you guys are all subscribed? I mean, you might be, but my experience, it hasn't tended to always be the case. So, you'll forgive me for being a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Nah, I've lost it. Suspicious. I think that's probably the word. And it is just a case of it not working. You see, we have gained some subscribers. I thought we might have. Let's just refresh this, shall we? There we go. I was about to say, I was a bit annoyed if you just stayed at the same thing. Right, so we've only got to find less than 70 people to subscribe. We're at the 40,000 thing. When we get to 50, we can pop some champagne. We get to 100,000, we're really going to pop the champagne. Big scrum, yeah. And they're broken, have Romania. Good scrum there from them, actually. They're under a lot of pressure, and they still managed to get the ball out. Good work by Chirico. Now goes back to Nuvasa, who hammers it downfield, and Hugh Keane has to adjust. He does it very well. A lot of space down the left-hand side. He's running towards that support. It's a good tackle, though, on him. A high tackle, apparently, is the call. And quickly taking a jab to Gibson Park. Bundyaki, he's got to play on the shoulder. It's Johnny Sexton on his return. He's in my fantasy, so at least that helps. I think it's a bit of a late hit here from Jason Tumani. He went over very quickly and apologized for it. So he's touching his wrist here, Johnny Sexton, which is strapped. Not a massive high tackle, to be fair. But then on a flash is Jamison Gibson Park. Bang, gets away from when he gets the pop away to Bundy Aki. Once he beats that defender, it's a 2-on-1 situation. You can see the number 30 coming back here to try and grab it. Jason Tamana desperately trying to get back. And he pops it over the top. There's Johnny Sexton, and Ireland will go into half-time with a pretty substantial lead. Johnny Sexton with 4 conversions now. 4 conversions. So he walks in with 13 of 33 points. Very good half there from Ireland. And who, after going behind, have very much kicked into gear. Craig Casey, cheapest mentioned, you want to get some shorter shorts. And there's an interesting look at Craig Casey got running the water there. But Johnny Sexton is back. He is very much back. He's had a pretty good half as well, scoring 13 points, getting his World Cup tally brightly underway. We're going to be back after half time, so don't go away. And lots to break down and talk about with regards to that half of rugby. 33 points to 8 is how it remains. Romania did score the first try. They also got a penalty. In fact, it should be 38-3-10, to be honest. A really poor conversion attempt in the end. That did come from Gabriel Rapinu, who has got all the points for Romania so far. So far, very impressed with Bundyaki for Ireland, as well as very impressed with Hinkley Vasa from Romania. But we will see you guys very, very soon. Don't go away. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. We are less than 60 away from 40,000 subscribers. So if you are new, go and show your support and subscribe. And I'll chat to you guys in a little bit. Hello everybody, my name is Stevie P and I'm here to tell you about BITDEFENDER, who are one of the Forever Sports channel partners. BITDEFENDER offers world-leading cybersecurity solutions which make sure that all your data is protected across all of your devices. We make sure that we are never compromised thanks to BITDEFENDER, and you should as well. Alongside their world-class cybersecurity needs, they also offer a world-class VPN, which not only hides and protects all your data and your internet privacy, but also allows you to access content from around the world using this VPN, which means you can unlock certain content which you might not otherwise have been able to watch, including live rugby across the world. So make sure you get BITDEFENDER. Check the description of all of our videos to get yourself a BITDEFENDER subscription. They are not only one of the world leaders, but also one of the most affordable options out there. So there really is a no loss sort of situation here. Get yourself BITDEFENDER, get yourself protected, and make sure that you are never compromised thanks to BITDEFENDER. Hello everybody, Stevie P here from Forever Sports, and I'm here to tell you about BOYLESPORTS, the official betting partner of Forever Sports. Across all of our channels, they are one of the leading betting companies in the world and have recently launched in South Africa with an amazing offering. You can get a 1,000 Rand welcome offer. For the rugby, they are giving you 25% payout boost up to 2,000 Rand on the Springboks winning the World Cup, as well as an extra 50 Rand bet when you stake 250 more on rugby during the Rugby World Cup. It is your one-stop betting shop. That is BOYLESPORTS. Come and join us in the community. Check the links in the description to sign up. Get yourself an account and make sure that you are Right, and we are back for the second half here. Ireland 33, Romania 8, and one of the standouts in the first half, Hinkley Vavasa with ball in hand. A reminder that Romania carrying down 14 men and trailing by many, many points. 25 points is the current margin. And they do get things underway. They go down the left-hand side, and it's an early touch for Kellen Doris. Quite a quiet half by his lofty standards. And I'm looking to try to pick up where they left off. And this is a really good early move as well. Bundy Aki towards Yukina coming back inside, looking to try and exploit that gap. In fact, it's no longer a gap because they are back to a full contingent and almost an intercept. Once another intercept, almost by the way, by number 13, Jason Tumana. And that will allow Romania to get back to a full contingent. So Marius Simeonescu is back on the park. So earlier I asked who's going to win now. Now I'm going to ask, will Romania score a try in the second half? That's going to be my new poll now. Will Romania score a try in the second half? That's my poll for the half. And what have you guys thought about Romania? I mean, shame. You want to use the word shame. I mean, these guys are playing for the country at the World Cup. So, I mean, they've achieved far more than I'm ever going to achieve in the sport. But they are playing against a side which they're just never going to compete at the end of the day. But what I did say, I said, the World Cups can be about opportunity. It can be about, showing the world what you can do. And I do think that certain players, I'm talking about Hinkley Vavasa, who's really stood up today and impressed me. And I think that's what's so cool about the World Cup. The players you don't get to see very often. And he's gone and said, I'm here. You guys might not know me. You might not have even heard of me, but I'm here. And I'm worth watching. And he has been worth watching so far. We're having a reset at the scrum here. But yeah, 33 points to 8. So Romania scored the first try, and then Ireland hit back very quickly. And it's been a bit of chaos since then, scoring a bonus point try. Romania just the one try so far. But hasn't been all bad for Romania. They've had some moments. Big counter shove there. Penalty advantage for Ireland. And the ball does go down to Gibson Park. Johnny Sexton popping up to low. That's a huge tackle on Oak. It's a great defensive read. They'll go back for the penalty. But I tell you what, some Ireland players have really pushed up today and have been on the mark. I feel like James Lowe has been a player who's kind of arrived and very much understands that this is a bit of a meh game. I don't think he's been as sharp as he should be. And I think if he were a bit more sharp, Bundy Aki, for example, he's someone that's come in here and he's treated this game like any other game. He's running hard. He's been switched on. He's been intense. And he's been on the mark. But James Lowe, for me, has been a little bit lackluster. Which is annoying, because he's in my fantasy team. I need you to do better. Right, so penalty for Ireland. They do find themselves on the 5-metre line, so this could be a pretty good start for them if they can get over the try line. James Ryan goes up and comes down. They've gone straight down, though, off the back of the line out. Ball is available, though. No penalty advantage, so the sack was legal. Pick up and go there. It was Ty Furlong. Now Gibson Park, penalty advantage, goes himself. Still a penalty advantage here for Ireland. They go back for the penalty here. This is a bit of a matter of time. Is probably the order of the day, to be fair, more than just the Rob Herring looking for the tap and go, picks up and goes, puts his head down. Just he scored it. Oh my goodness. Rob Herring, that was easy. Far too easy, to be honest. You should not be able to tap and go score in the first phase. Shame, the poor Romanian guy thought it was a penalty for them. Poor lad. And 38 with Johnny Sexton ready to make it a 40-point game now. Well, it's about a 32-point game from a margin point of view. And Johnny Sexton adding the extras. I mean, it's a good try. It's well done by Rob Herring, but you should never be scoring off the first phase of a tap and go. Surely not. Surely not. Now the question is, can we find just over 50 people to get past 40,000 subscribers? Well, I'm going to have to wait until this evening. It's going to be very annoying if I do. So if you are new and you are new to the stream, please do subscribe to the channel. They're trying to get up to that 40,000 mark, and they've now got it kicked into touch. Been very accurate so far, has Vavasa so far with his kickoffs up until then. Right, so scrum on the halfway, and this is the problem: is that you kind of, I mean, you're out of the game anyway, and then you start compounding the errors by making unforced errors, and that's where these games get out of hand. So 32 points is the current margin. What did I say in my super brief picture? I think I said about 40 odd. In my picks, I said France by 6 in the initial in for that one. And unfortunately, just outside. Then I then said Italy by 20, and it was Italy by by 42. And that's knocked on my Bandiaki. This match I said Ireland by 40. So I'm still here. I'm still around here. They're by 32 at this stage, and I reckon that 40 is very much on. And I said Oz by 8 later. It's a great kick from Hugo Keenan. And that's a 50-22 as well. Well, yeah, it could be a 40-point margin coming up right now. What really annoys me about my Super picks is the fact that I picked France by 6, and they were by 6 for a long, long time. So it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. No, not outside the 22 is the call. Another good line out. I'll tell you what, he's jumped pretty well, and the line's been pretty good. That's one place where I think Adrian Motok has been very solid so far this afternoon. He's been very good with the line outs. Right, so it's been hammered ahead. James Lowe gives it inside to Hugo Keenan. Hugo Keenan's still on space on the right side. He gives it away to Gary Ringrose. Ringrose decides to straight, slips slightly, gets back up and drives again up to the 10-meter line. Go Ireland. Anderson Gibson Park goes to Johnny Sexton. Pops up to Furlong. Oh, it's a great ball. Rob Herring finding a bit of space. Popping up to Bandiaki. Bandiaki looking for a second. He's got Jamison Gibson Park outside. It's a great tackle coming from Semieski. Now goes to Sexton. To James Lowe. Drawing pass. Shirley. Drawing pass. Drawing pass. James Lowe could have had 3 try assists. Honestly, he could have treated. I mean, they're going to score anyway. And that, I mean, he wasn't even touched. There was Peter Marnie. That is one of the worst tries I've ever seen conceded. But James Lowe could have had 3 try assists this afternoon, and he hasn't because he's just. I don't know if that was a bit of selfishness, but yeah. It's a great offload from Ty Furlong. Drawing the 2 players, Rob Herring inside, Bandiaki running a great support line. You can see he's asking for it. First thing he's doing now is looking around as Bandiaki, and Gibson Park was there. It's a good tackle in the end from Samiescu. And then James Lowe here, if he just draws and passes, the time probably goes over. In the end, it doesn't matter. But he had like 3 different options. And I love how Pino Marnie's charging and Gabriel Rapinoe didn't even try. He decided, no, I'm not even going to touch this guy. He's big, he's large, running towards me, I'm out. I'm out. That's a bit annoying, though, when you like his teammates sitting there doing, come on, like, drop a shoulder, you just give it an attempt. Like, surely you try something. Right, Sexton. Do you continue adding to his tally? And he does. And I'll tell you what, he's racking up all the fantasy points for me. All the fantasy points. I mean, I've got in my fantasy team, this is the Super Fantasy, by the way, which we weren't going to use, but we needed for to be able to contact prize winners. So if we look at our at my fantasy team in terms of players to watch for today, Gary Ringrose is in there, Johnny Six is in there, bloody James Lowe's in there. He's been terrible. Right, so there we go. They've replaced the entire front row here of Ireland. Earlier, though, I had Lorenzo Canoni, man of the match. Andrew Capuzio, he scored a try. Federico Raza. Gregory Eldred was brilliant last night. I had RDCV on my bench, which is a bit annoying, but I think Lorenzo Canoni should get more points than him anyway. So then if Jean-Martin Gonzalez what praise tonight, then we're happy. And first thing that Jeremy Lama has done is left that ball behind the American-born Irish prop, and it is a scrum for Romania right in front of the poles. And the big thing about Romania, we've got number 24 and we've got number 25 on the field because their numbers are coming off their shirts. So Macron will have to be able to receive a phone call later about what's happening there. But yes, not a particularly good start for Jeremy Larman. One sub so far from Romania, Alexandru Savin has come on and he has replaced Julian Hartig. And now let's look at the next prop replacements coming on. And as Alex Gordas leaves the field and George Gazion comes on. Meanwhile, Ronan Kelleher, Jeremy Larman and Tom O'Toole all on for Ireland. Have a reset here. That's a huge scrum from Ireland. They've managed to get away with it at Romania, but I don't think they're going to be able to get this ball. Yeah, it is turned over. Jamesy gives the park switcher play to Bandiaki. Goes to Hugo Keenan. Goes to Gary Ringrose. Ringrose spins away from the tackle but loses the ball forward. And it'll be another scrum. It's been sloppy in the last few minutes. Yeah, these are just deteriorating a little bit. Come on, Gary Ringrose. Do better, mate. I mean, I enjoy watching. One of my favorite players to watch, and not good enough. Unacceptable. I also need James Lowe to do better. He's in my fantasy team. And that's run down once again. So the new front rows are coming. This time the penalty for Romania, though. There we go. And Jeremy Lima not impressed with that. But yeah, Romania getting the award this time. And they go to the corner. Of course, they go to the corner. What else are they going to do? But come on, Romania. Let's score a try. So, oh my goodness. Now they just put on the World Player of the Year. Poor lads. We asked, will Romania score a try in the second half? 60% said yes. So this could be the chance. Right, so there goes James Ryan and Kalen Doris. Well, once again, another good lineup. They do have possession, but not going anywhere. The question is, has somebody come through? They got from the island side and gotten their hands on the ball. No, it's available at the back there. They're going to have to use Romania. How the Jamesy Gibson Park is jumping on at the back there. Slowly moving forward now. And now they've shifted slightly. But they're not going to have to do that. Should be turned over. No, in fact, it's available. That's been brilliantly done to make that available. Goodness me, I didn't expect that. Pick up and go now for Romania. Can they score another try? Would ruin my Subaru pick a little bit, but I'm in for it. Now penalty. For going off their feet at the breakdown. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Right, there's another substitution for Romania. The number 23, it is Taylor Gontiniak. This is somebody that said who's earmarked as somebody to watch for the tournament. Youngster, 23 years old. And we're going to get his first glimpse of him tonight. Or today, I suppose. Still at daytime. It's still very sunny for France. It's going to be an interesting concept for me when I get there next weekend. Oh my goodness, there's a breakaway here. Josh van der Fleer of all players. Of course, it's him. Out on the break. Gibson Park fires it out wide towards Keith Earls. Keith Earls on the inside. And a penalty for Romania. Jeff Gibson Park wanted to take it quickly until he realized it's not actually his penalty. So Romania, hold on. Hang on. Bit of pride here on the line here for Romania. Can see 2 tries so far, and they've not found touch. Those are mistakes that you can't afford to make. Inside ball there to Aki. Now Ty Burns with the inside over the top there, and Vasta is there to clean up. Gets away from one, gets away from all 3. Off we go, mate! Oh, he's still going. Oh, no, he's lost it forward. Oh, that's heartbreaking. My boy, I tell you what. Cult hero status is coming up for Hinkley Vavasa. He just can't do anything wrong at the moment. Gets away from Keith Earls, then bursts through 3 players, by the way, including Josh van der Fleer. Now he needs support. Gets away from another one, and then runs into Johnny Sexton, who then just lodges the ball in contact. Really good work from Sexton, but it's a great run from Vavasa, who's been really impressive. I reckon we could see him getting a few suitors. Right, here comes Conor Murray, who replaced Jamison Gibson Park. Such an experienced player as Conor Murray. British and Irish Lions caps, Irish caps, all the caps. Just all the caps. Right, going to the comments over here. George earlier said McBride and Miller were British Lions together and played for Ballymena and Ulster. So we can say, okay, but Josh Bannerford is absolutely massive. He's a great player, isn't he? Doc Maris, I don't know how much SA fans have been paying attention to Irish rugby, but they all embarrassed the SA teams this year. I know you beat the top part New Zealand, but Ireland aren't the walkover you seem to think. I don't think anyone's really calling Ireland a walkover, but okay. How did Leinster do this for the season? Yeah. And we have a drinks break. Not convinced about these drinks breaks. Must have been. I don't think it's that hot. Surely it's not that hot. Do you see me needing a drinks break? Where's my drinks break? Yeah, I think Vasa, Bundy Aki been the two, for me, two of the standouts today. What a venue. What a venue. Keith Earls, by the way, the veteran, off as well. Jamison Gibson Park, so Ireland emptying their bench, bringing on the likes of Conor Murray. I think Mac Hansen's come onto the park from the looks of it. I'm sure Jack Crowley will be coming on very quickly for, very shortly for Johnny Sexton. Playing down in Bordeaux, by the way. This time next week, I'll actually be at the stadium, by the way. Well, actually, I would have finished there. But Samoa versus Chile, I'm watching at the stadium. And then we're watching South Africa versus Romania there, actually, in a week's time as well, which is going to be a lot of fun. Penalty for Ireland this time. Right, so 50 people. Where are we going to find 50 people to subscribe to the channel so we get to 40,000 people? Else you're going to have to get Rudy to get you guys there when he takes over for the Australia versus Georgia game later. And here comes a whole bunch of Romanian players as well. Right, looks like a pretty big boy in the likes of number 19, Marius Iftemikirk. And why would you take him off? They're disrespecting my boy. They've taken off Hinkley Vavasa. What a player. What a game he had. Yeah, Matt Hansen there. And tell you what, I wanted to have him in my fantasy team. Jackson goes, it's a great tackle on Hugo Keane. It's a brilliant read. Conor Murray going to Jeremy Larman. Big hit coming on him. Where's this physicality been all of a sudden? Matt Hansen, new scrum cap, by the way, from the looks of it. Conor Murray. 2 meters out here, Ireland, looking for another one. Right now, it's 39 points. I said 40, so if we could just not score any more points, that would actually be really useful. Another penalty advantage, though. It's not looking good. Bandiaki, just short. Ian Henderson onto the park now. Just short. Pick up and go from McCarthy. Now Conor Murray. That's easy. Hugo Keenan, the man, just for this time. I mean, what was it, Johnny Sexton? Oh, it's Johnny Sexton. He's in my fantasy team. What a lad. He's been very good tonight. He has been very good tonight. We wanted to see whether he would be, whether it'd take a bit of time to get back to. Yes, it is against Romania, but Sexton goes over. Good work from him. And over it goes. Johnny Sexton basically has just got like 50, I think, of the points so far this game. Got to be in the running for man of the match. Jack Crowley not coming on just yet. Good restart this time. Only going on the right-hand side. Looking around outside the N22. There's a bit of space out wide there. Van der Fleer. Oh, he gets it through wide. He still goes, Van der Fleer. He's got a horrible, horrible turn of pace. If you're Romanian anyway, brilliant player. Up into their own half, and this is where things can really go. The rails can just come off here. Going to the phases here. And kind of, I mean, this is just where Romania are. There's the gap. Jamie Lauman popping it up. Keenan inside. Oh, Bandiaki just can't hold on to it. It would have been brilliant pickup if he could. And it definitely would have been try time. And you can see the disappointment in his face. And it's just, I can just see poor Romania just absolutely dead on their feet. Right, one of these, Langdon says 65-8 final score. Not a bad shot, to be fair. Sappy Kiwi said, David Sexton getting huge fantasy points for pity it was too expensive. Yeah, he's a Master Brew fantasy. I would have made a plan to if he had been the normal one. He was always going to score so many points today. And there he goes. He's been replaced after 65 minutes. He's scored a lot of points, done a lot of good work. Jack Crowley will see off the rest of the game. But look how the Ireland faithful rise to acknowledge Johnny Sexton. Trying to make sure that everything's happening on our streams and stuff like that, and we're all good for later. So in terms of the order of the day, this will redirect you guys to the Georgia versus Australia stream. Where Rudy will be taking you through that game. The kickoff is in just under an hour, so it'll be about 15. By the time you go over, we'll be actually starting his live ball about 10 minutes after that. So you don't have to go anywhere. You can just stay on here and move straight into that stream over there and go and keep Mr. Rude's company, the Rude Meister, as we nicknamed him. Well, I suppose he nicknamed himself, actually. We were asking him to help us out there, and he did clutch up quite quickly. But how many more tries can Ireland score is the question, really. Not if they can score, it's how many will they score. Looking for a bit of a wraparound here. Crowley goes straight through, does Ringrose. Presents well for Conor Murray. Now shoots out to Bandiaki. Oh, there's options. There's options. Good hands. Drawing pass. Joe McCarthy. Great defense. Absolutely brilliant defense. And take a bow. I think he's a bit sore, but you know what? That is what I mean by playing for your country. That right there by Marius Simeonescu. And I think it's also Christian Cherico, who stayed down. That is what I mean by playing for your country. You know, the game is gone. It is gone. It is 54 points to 8. The game is completely gone. It's a one-on-one situation or two-on-one situation. Joe McCarthy got all the time to build up speed. He looks for certain he's going to score, and two players say no. You know what? I'm going to give all the praise to Marius Simeonescu. Puts his head down, puts his shoulder down, and hammers McCarthy. And bundles them out. That is the pride of playing for your country right there. Because that's not going to change the result. And I mean, McCarthy's a huge player in comparison. And he just decides, no, I will not be run over. I'm actually going to put in a shift here for my team. Really, really good. And again, you know, it's a small thing. But that's a nice moment for him. You can have that. You can have that on the highlight reel at home for a while. Porter saying, box going for 4, baby, but on the way I wanted to really smash the leprechauns. Dick Murray said, I listen to the Rugby podcast from Big Jim and Goody every week. They talk about the state of English compared to the Irish and French system all the time, which is not great. I mean, all the bloody teams are busy going bankrupt at the moment. But we've just got about 30 minutes left. As I said, this will redirect you to the watch-along with Mr. Rude, Australia versus Georgia. And then I will be joining you guys tonight for England versus Argentina. Oh, no. And McCarthy, well, he was stopped once. He's now waltzed through. I'm not quite sure what happened there. So after all that, it's all for nothing, really. And yeah, it's his first international try as well. So he'll be very tough with that. But, I mean, what happened there? The entire Romanian defense. Literally, I mean, it's a line-out. It's a horrible line-out. Pops up from Conor Murray. And there's just no Romanian players. And oh, my goodness, that is dreadful. That is absolutely dreadful. There's the extra Jack Crowley now, taking over the kicking duties. Right, come on, surely Moreno could cook up something. Give us one more reason to celebrate. One more nice moment. And as I said, they're now not on their way here. Mac Hansen. As always, these last few minutes isn't it, where the game just completely opens up. So I'm kind of hoping that means that when Romania can score a bit of a counter-attack try, but it's not looking particularly good. Alza Emerald says, good stuff, lads. And Peter Pippa saying, have a beer when you commentate. I've had one last night. To be fair, I had a beer right now. I think I'd fall asleep. So I'm going to go for a run after this, wake myself up, have a nice cold shower, prep the beers for tonight. It's going to be a great game tonight. If I start the beers now, it becomes a dangerous road. I've got to be live with you guys at 8:30. You know, we've got another more than 3 hours before I'm back with you. If we start on the beers now, we're not sure we're going to get there. Anyway, Ringrose the first receiver. Bandiaki. Ball finds its way to Ronan Kelleher. Back inside, Jack Crowley. Pops it for Jamie Lama. He decides to straighten. Crowley, Ringrose inside, Ringrose himself. Gary, I think you're in my team as well, mate. And Peter Omani, try number 2. And this is becoming a bit childish. A little bit childish. I think it's the second try of the day. And a pretty good time of it so far. Right, Jack Crowley's thinking about kicker of the day. That's a very good, very, very good kick from him. You say, where's your South African run these days, Stephen Boss banned it? YouTube banned it. I think I banned it myself. I think, as I said, I've got to be composed here, people. I'll get back on the ram now. I'm not convinced the composure is going to last long. Savvy Kiwi says, sorry, X-Man says, score hugely in favour of Ireland, but they made a good few mistakes, if I'm honest. Yeah, it took a while for them to get going. They were a bit rusty in that first half. Second half, they can't really fault the performance. They've done everything they needed to. But I think that's sometimes, I wouldn't say inevitable, but I think you often see sometimes teams, especially when you're playing, I want to call them minnows, but you're playing tier 2 nations, you can sometimes slack off and not rise to the occasion. That maybe was the case in the first 20 minutes, but since then, I think in the second half, I think they've very much tightened things up and said, come on, chaps, we actually need to start putting, this is not match practice, you've got to actually really make this count. I don't think point difference is going to be a massive factor, but as Mac Hansen goes on a bit of a run here, James Lowe on the inside, James Lowe, he's still going himself, and once again, he had an option. Now he pops it up towards Conor Murray, he gives it away to Jeremy Lauman. Conor Murray, Crowley, little cross kick over there, chip pass, and Tyler Burn can't keep it. Penalty advantage though, so they'll go back for the penalty. Tyler Burn limping. Now this is what you don't want in these sort of games. You've got all the points. Right, and they go, oh, they've competed the line with Romania. And they won another line out. If you're going to be harsh, I think maybe that's one aspect of the game which Ireland haven't been flawless at. Their lineouts have not been particularly good. They've really actually been poor. Poor is the only way I can really put it. So that's definitely probably a work on, because if Romania is disrupting your lineouts, that doesn't bode well for other teams. Very dejected coaching staff watching on. Difficult to sort of really say what you take out of this game. You've been soundly beaten. You scored a try, but you've been soundly beaten. I mean, as Romania, this is not the game you're looking at. If you look at the World Cup fixtures, when are they playing Tonga? So Romania taking on Tonga. And Bandiaki goes in. That's a hat-trick, I think. Is it a hat-trick? Yeah, that's far too easy. I mean, I look away for a second, and he's just straight through the middle and he gone over. Bundy, as I said, he's somebody who's pitched up today and decided, no, I'm not taking this as a small game. I'm here for the I'm here for all of it. I'm here for the stats. I'm here for the game. I'm here to prove that I should be starting. But yeah, it's the last game, one of the last games of the group stage. Actually, Tonga versus Romania. That's the game they target to try and give themselves a good. And he just burst straight through the middle there. Really, really poor defending. He gets past 2, 3, too easy, far too easy. Matt Hansen with the try assist, but it's a dreadful tackle attempt. Shame, poor Romanians. 6 minutes to go. It's going to be a long 6 minutes for them. So that's 73 points, by the way, and counting. This could be 75. I think the largest World Cup game was like 110 or something. It was when New Zealand absolutely hammered Japan. I think it was back in 95, actually. Where's the Brundervein? Oh, no, please don't mention your dirty ideas. Could be on the brandy train tomorrow. We've got some mental specials at Barrels and Bottles, where we'll be having our fan park tomorrow. We'll be crossing over there. As I said, some absolutely ludicrous specials on offer there at Barrels and Bottles. So if you are in Johannesburg, that's where you can come and meet the BOYLESPORTS team. Big specials. They've got a lamb on a spit. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a great take, by the way. As that Peter O'Mahony's gone up, and he's basically taking it one-handed. It's a brilliant take. Oh, look at the hands. Crowley. Matt Hansen back on the inside. Can they get 80? I think that's the question now. Can they get 80? Oh, inside ball to Matt Hansen. Romania were aware to the threat. Now goes Jeremy Laumann up to the halfway line. Oh, it's a good turnover. It's a great turnover. Good appreciation of the laws, and I think that's Watchalong is just. Oh no, he's turned it over and he's locked it forward. Oh dear. Every single time you try to compliment, you try to find something good to celebrate, and then they make another mistake. Oh dearie me. It's been a tough day at the office. There's a place for hookup. Florian Bodesu giving away that. Three minutes left on the clock. The Irish fans will be wondering if they can get to 80. Romania fans, they just want it to end, don't they? Penalty for Ireland. Going for the corner. That's a pretty good kick from Crowley. This could very well be 80 on the cards here. Right, so Romania still in the line out now, trying to run it off 22. Just under 2 minutes left on the clock. Oh, come on, Romania. Give us something to cheer for. A lot of hands on the ground there, and eventually they come away with it. Still deep inside their own 22 here, are Romania, though. And eventually decide to kick for touch. And it's Tudor Boulder who does find touch. Player of the match, Peter O'Mahony. 2 tries to his name. Good game. Yeah, I think it's a pretty fair assessment, that. Right, now what can I... Oh, a bit of a fumble there from Conor Murray. This will be the last play in theory. There's 20 seconds or 40 seconds left in the game. They go out wide. James Lowe. No try for him so far today. Not through lack of trying. And now the chick's been charged down, which might actually work for Romania. And it's been kicked around, Jeff. I think it's a knock-on advantage. There's the knock-on. There's 5 seconds left. Mr. F, just call it. Don't make them scrum. Just call it. All right, so scrum for Ireland. Free kick. Looking for one last try. Can they get to 80? This is the last move of the match. Conor Murray going to Crowley. Inside ball from Omani. Big tackle coming on Josh van der Fleer. James Lowe now scrum. I'll just kick it out, lads. Surely. Put them out of their misery. Oh, no. Counter-attack. Oh, go! Go! Oh, he doesn't have the pace. He doesn't have the pace. He puts it to the boot. And Hugo Keane all the way back. Oh, it's a great tackle as well. He pops up to James Lowe. James Lowe. I'll just kick it out, dude. They want to play. Keane was going to kick it out, by the way. He was definitely going to kick it out before the tackle came. So, Ryan, all the way back to the own 22. Mac Hansen wants to play. Yeah, I think it's a game of charge. If I'm Conor Murray, I'm taking an executive decision. Yeah, I'm kicking it out. No, they're still playing. We'll kick over the top for Bundy Aki to chase. And he does get it. It's a good tackle, though. Pops it up, though, for... Oh, it's going to be a runaway. Oh, no, is it? Is it? No, there is. Ty Burns going to finish it. Ty Burns going to go over. Well, I suppose they wanted to keep it going. They do hit 80. That is a huge result for Ireland. Romania almost, well, an interception, but just didn't have the legs. And that will be the final score. People, thank you very much. I'm going to hand you over to the Australia versus Georgia watch-along. You can go and join Rudy. He will be live with you guys in about 7 minutes' time. Thank you very much for jumping on and keeping me company for this game. And I will see you guys tonight for England versus Argentina. And yeah, we'll see you soon.